For years and years, many people have speculated that the NBA Draft Lottery is rigged, and the topic recently resurfaced when the Lakers managed to keep their top 3 protected pick in the 2017 draft. But today, I'm going to explain to you why the lottery is not rigged, and why the vast majority of reasons for why it is rigged should not be taken seriously. What's up guys, my name is Mark, and before I unleash onto all the conspiracy theorists, I'm going to first talk about the biggest case study that they present, which is the 1985 NBA Draft. This was when the Knicks miraculously landed the first pick and got Patrick Ewing. And having seen the video of David Stern looking and picking out a bent, perhaps frozen envelope, I will admit that it looks pretty darn fishy. But this is the only case that I will personally acknowledge even has a remotely legitimate argument for the NBA Draft Lottery being rigged. And since then, the lottery system has changed entirely. So, with that out of the way, let's talk through these conspiracies one by one. After 1985, the next case study conspiracy theorists like to throw out is the 1993 draft, when the Magic landed the first pick despite having the worst odds in the draft. And conspiracy theorists point to the fact that the NBA was trying to popularize the recently expanded Orlando team, and claim that this happened because Orlando was a growing sports market that they wanted to target. A statement that is not supported by anything of remote substance. And look at it this way, if the NBA really wanted to rig that draft, why would they give the pick to Orlando and not the Dallas Mavericks, another struggling expansion team with a bigger market than Orlando, or better yet, the Clippers or the Lakers, who are in the LA market, both of which could have desperately needed some help, especially a Lakers team that was rebuilding after Magic left. The same thing applies to the 2003 draft, when conspiracy theorists cite that the NBA rigged the draft for LeBron to be drafted by his hometown team. Forget the fact that the Cavs actually did have the best odds to win the first pick that year. If the NBA is really all about making money and wanted to rig that draft, why didn't they give the first pick to the Clippers, Bulls, or the Knicks? Can you imagine how much more popular the NBA would be if LeBron James was drafted by the Knicks and played every night in the most famous arena in basketball in the biggest market in the US? And not instead for Cleveland, Ohio. No disrespect, Cleveland, but market-wise, you're not New York. Same thing goes with 2008. Some people looked at the Bulls winning the first pick and selecting Derrick Rose and using the hometown hero team argument, which I don't even know why that's an argument in the first place. Again, if the NBA really wanted to make money and they really wanted to rig that draft, they would have given that pick to the Knicks, who 5 years later were still a struggling franchise and instead fell to the 6th pick and ended up with Danilo Gallinari. Now, let's fast forward again to 2012. After an extremely controversial decision by David Stern, who vetoed the Chris Paul trade, the Hornets were under the management of the NBA. And conspiracy theorists point out that that's why they landed the first pick and selected Anthony Davis, so that David Stern could save the Hornets franchise. Really? Save the Hornets franchise over all the other franchises that needed saving? An even more ridiculous theory is the Wizards landing the first pick in the 2001 draft, selecting Kwame Brown. Some people believe that David Stern did this because he knew Michael Jordan was coming back to the NBA and wanted to give him a good team to work with. But the conspiracy theorists who promote this theory are the same guys that believe that David Stern forced Michael Jordan to retire back in 1993 due to gambling issues. So make up your minds, does David Stern like Michael Jordan or not? If David Stern really cares about making the NBA as popular as possible, why force the most popular athlete of all time, Michael Jordan, to retire in 1993, in the smack middle of his prime? If he doesn't care, why then would he ever try to rig the 2001 draft? And finally, we get to this year, the 2017 NBA Draft Lottery, where some people were irate that the Lakers kept their top 3 protected pick, even though they had a 48.6% chance to keep it anyways. Since when did coin flip odds become evidence for conspiracies? And since we're talking percentages, I'm going to bring out the thing that conspiracy theorists hate the most. The thing that just suffocates them. That's numbers. People look at the Orlando Magic winning the first pick in 1993 with a 0.5% chance and think, how is that possible if that's not rigged? Well, let me tell you how it's possible. There have been 27 draft lotteries so far that are based on this weighted formula. The chance of a team like the Magic not winning the first pick each year is 1 minus 0.005, otherwise 99.5%. But the chances of a team like the Magic not winning the first pick each year for 27 years in a row is 0.995 to the power of 27, which is roughly 87%. So, in other words, there's a 1 in 8 chance that in 27 years, you will get a team with the least likely odds to win the first pick. The same principle can be applied to the other quote unlikely first picks that people point to. Much like how if you play enough hands in poker, you'll end up seeing some crazy hands. When you've been through enough ping pong balls in 27 years, there will be some crazy outcomes. When the Lakers win a coin toss, it's rigged. Yet nobody talks about how the Lakers didn't win in 1992 and 1993 and 2013 and 2014. All the NBA cares about is making money. Then why would they ever give the Minnesota Timberwolves their first pick? Why is it that before Kristaps Porzingis, the Knicks never picked in the top 5 for 30 years in a row from 1986 to 2016? But hey, conspiracy theorists, I don't blame you for thinking the way you do, because what you're thinking is explained by a 200-year-old phenomenon in psychology called confirmation bias, the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's existing beliefs or theories. So of course, with everyone talking about the draft being rigged, the conspiracy theorist's pre-existing mode of thinking is leaning towards it being rigged, especially if they already have doubt about the integrity of the NBA, or the more often case, which is just that they're salty that their team didn't get as high a pick as they wanted, in which case they'll always find ways to justify to themselves why the draft lottery is rigged. When you have something as random as the draft lottery, you're gonna get some teams that are just luckier than others. And guess what? The draft isn't fair because luck isn't fair. Some teams are gonna luck out, some teams are gonna luck down. But does that mean the draft is rigged? When a small market team lands a top pick, it's because the NBA wants to uplift a struggling market. When a big market team lands a top pick, it's because the NBA wants to make money and reward big cities. When the Blazers landed the 2007 first pick, it's because the NBA wanted to help out a small but loyal fan base. When the Cavaliers landed the 2014 first pick, it's instead because they wanted to make super teams. And of course, the few incidents in the past 30 years where a coach or team executive made a mistake and said something incorrect or made it seem like they knew something that they didn't know, we pounce on that, take it out of context, and take all the non-substantial case studies I talk about and use those as quote supporting evidence. Bottom line is this. Conspiracy theories relating to the NBA draft being rigged are in the end nothing more than just conspiracy theories based on zero hard evidence and incredibly biased analysis of certain situations. They make interesting YouTube videos, but please, for the love of God, do not take them or make them to be more than they should be. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I know this is a really controversial topic. A lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about this one. But on this channel, I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to tell you what I believe in, and I'm going to tell you why I believe in what I believe in. If this is your first time here and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Other than that, thank you for watching MDJ, where we talk everything NBA. I'll see you in the next one.
Feeling kinda strange, feeling kinda off. Don't know what's really going on. I feel like something's up and I can only guess the cause. It doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. Always hits me when I'm unprepared.